Okay, so today we are diving into something pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Um, Nezha 2, The Demon Tide.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the headlines about this one.
You've probably seen the headlines too
Right.
about it's just crazy box office success.
Yeah.
But trust me, this is way more than just a hit movie.
Oh, really?
It's a total game changer
Wow.
for animation, not just in China, but globally. And we're going to unpack all of this using this fantastic analysis from Donghua Reviewer.
Oh, yeah. They know their stuff.
They really know their stuff when it comes to Chinese animation.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what's so fascinating to me about Nezha 2 is it's not just another sequel,
Right.
Just cashing in on a popular name.
Exactly.
This film is making waves.
Big time.
And our source really breaks down why.
Yeah, so let's hit you with some numbers.
Okay.
That'll make your jaw drop.
All right.
This movie raked in a staggering 5.8 billion RMB in China alone.
Wow.
That's over 820 million US dollars.
Goodness.
Globally, we're talking 8.7 billion RMB, which translates to a massive 1.2 billion USD.
Okay.
Think about this.
Yeah.
Officially, the highest grossing animated film ever in China.
And here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Nezha 2 didn't just beat out other animated films.
Right.
It actually surpassed major live-action blockbusters.
I was just thinking that.
We're talking films with A-list celebrities.
Oh, yeah.
Huge marketing campaigns.
Absolutely.
And this animated film blew them all out of the water.
What does that tell us?
Right.
I think Donghua Reviewer suggests that it signals a major shift in what audiences are really craving,
Yeah.
which is quality storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Goes beyond genre.
Yeah, just like people are saying, just give us a good story and we'll show up.
All right.
Regardless of whether it's live action or animation.
Exactly. And it's not just kids driving these numbers.
Oh, no.
Donghua Reviewer points out that a whopping 68% of the audience was between 18 and 45 years old.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't just a family film.
Right.
It clearly captured the imagination of adults in a huge way.
Right. It completely dismantles this outdated notion that animation is just for children.
Yeah.
Nezha 2 proves that animation can tackle mature themes,
Right.
complex narratives, and still resonate with a wide audience.
Absolutely.
And get this, 32% of its earnings came from outside of China,
Wow.
meaning the film resonated across cultures and continents.
That's something worth highlighting, right? Like, culturally authentic stories, when executed well, have a global reach.
Exactly.
Nezha 2 proves that.
And the impact of this success has been undeniable.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're seeing what people are calling the Nezha effect, this surge in animation investment.
Across the board.
Across the board,
Yeah.
studios are scrambling to get in on the action,
Yeah.
even changing their release dates to avoid going head-to-head with this behemoth.
Right.
It's like everyone's suddenly realizing the potential of animation,
Yeah.
and they're all trying to capture a bit of that Nezha magic.
It's a watershed moment, and it goes beyond just box office receipts.
Though
This is a cultural phenomenon that's changing the game for the entire industry.
it really is.
But of course, the numbers are only part of the story.
Right.
What about the film itself?
Let's get into the good stuff.
Yeah.
Nezha 2 takes the themes of societal prejudice that we saw in the first film
Right.
and pushes them even further,
Okay.
exploring really intricate and thought-provoking ideas.
It's fascinating how the film dives into institutional hypocrisy,
Yes.
particularly within the celestial bureaucracy.
Oh, interesting.
We see this through the character of Wu Liang Shanweng,
Okay.
who initially comes across as the main antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
He seems driven by power, even ruthless.
Yeah.
Especially towards the dragons and demons.
But then there's a twist.
Oh,
I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen the film yet,
okay.
but let's just say things aren't always what they seem.
Interesting.
It's a brilliant move by the filmmakers to challenge our initial perceptions of who's good and who's bad.
This subversion of expectations, I think, is key to understanding the film's deeper message.
Yeah.
It's asking us to look beyond those surface appearances
Right.
and consider the complexities of power motivation and the systems that govern our lives.
There's this one line that Liang Xianweng delivers that really struck me.
Oh, yeah?
He says, "If you Celestials had their discipline, I wouldn't need to dirty my hands."
Wow.
It's such a chilling statement.
It is.
It makes you think about the justifications people in power often use for their actions.
It's a powerful indictment of authoritarian regimes throughout history and even in our present world.
Absolutely.
It forces us to confront how those in positions of authority rationalize their actions,
Right.
even when those actions result in harm or oppression.
And the film doesn't shy away from exploring moral ambiguity.
Yeah.
You've got characters like Shen Gongbao, a demon who's desperately trying to gain acceptance within a system that's inherently biased against him. Does some questionable things.
Okay.
But can we really label him as purely evil?
Right.
It's not so black and white.
Exactly. The film cleverly blurs the lines between hero and villain,
Right.
challenging us to grapple with our own preconceived notions of good and evil. And that's just one example of how Nezha 2 tackles these complex themes. It also explores the personal cost of rebelling against these oppressive systems.
Yes.
It's not a simple feel-good story.
Right.
It acknowledges the sacrifices and the emotional toll that comes with fighting for justice.
Speaking of expanding the story, Nezha 2 brilliantly weaves its narrative into the larger Fengshen universe.
Right, the investiture of the gods mythology.
Also known as the investiture of the gods mythology.
Exactly.
We get glimpses of legendary figures like Jiaozi, hints about the Dragon Clan's history, and even a post-credits scene that sets the stage for something truly epic.
It's clear that the filmmakers are setting the groundwork for a sprawling cinematic universe.
Wow.
Much like Marvel has done with its interconnected films, and fans are going wild with theories about where the story's headed next.
I bet.
There's even speculation that Yuanshi Tianzhen, the primordial heavenly sovereign himself, could be the ultimate antagonist.
That would be something.
Which would make for an incredible showdown in Nezha 3.
Now, we can't talk about Nezha 2 without talking about the mastermind behind it all.
The director.
The director, Jiaozi.
Jiaozi.
His journey to success is a story in itself.
Really?
We're talking about a medical school dropout who taught himself animation.
Oh, wow.
Starting with online tutorials and free software.
That's right. Jiaozi's path to becoming a globally recognized director is unconventional, to say the least. His breakthrough came with a short film called See-Through.
See-Through,
a dark satire that went viral.
Wow.
And caught the attention of industry players.
That's great.
But even then, he faced an uphill battle.
Imagine pitching Nezha not as a lighthearted children's movie, but as a complex and emotionally resonant film for adults. It was a bold move, and it paid off spectacularly.
It speaks volumes about his courage and his vision. Jiaozi doesn't shy away from taking risks, and that's what sets him apart. He prioritized story over flashy visuals, demanding extensive script revisions to get the narrative just right.
He was dedicated to crafting a story that would resonate on multiple levels, not just entertain. And his commitment to cultural authenticity is remarkable.
Oh, yeah.
He consulted historians, even Taoist priests, to ensure the accuracy of the mythology and the philosophical underpinnings of the film.
It's clear that he believes in the power of animation to explore profound themes and complex human experiences.
For sure.
He said that he wants to find the light within the shadows.
Oh, I like that.
And Nezha 2 embodies that philosophy beautifully.
And speaking of light within the shadows, let's talk about the film's visual achievements, which are absolutely mind-blowing.
The visual.
Dongguo Reviewer highlights some of the technical innovations that went into creating this film.
Oh.
And it's pretty impressive.
Oh, I bet.
We're talking custom-designed software to capture those incredible lava-like transformations of Nezha.
And how about those crowd scenes?
Yeah.
They utilized AI-driven technology to create thousands of unique, digitally rendered characters.
Wow.
Interacting realistically at a level of detail that pushes the boundaries of what's possible in animation.
It really does.
It's a feast for the eyes.
Right, and they managed to seamlessly weave Taoist symbolism and the aesthetics of the Five Elements philosophy into every frame. It's not just pretty. It's layered with meaning and cultural significance.
It is.
This film is a game changer, not just visually, but also in terms of how it reflects contemporary Chinese society. It's more than just entertainment. It's a mirror held up to the anxieties and aspirations of a generation.
Absolutely. The cultural impact of Nezha 2 is a story in itself.
We'll delve into that more.
And there's much more to uncover.
After a short break, so stay tuned.
Sounds good.
We were just talking about how Nezha 2 goes beyond just being a visually stunning film.
Oh, absolutely.
It actually taps into some real anxieties that people are facing in modern Chinese society, wouldn't you say?
It really does. The film uses these ancient myths to explore some very contemporary themes.
Yes.
For example, remember Shen Gongbao?
Oh, yeah.
The demon who's constantly striving to prove himself?
Right.
Donghua reviewers suggest that this reflects a very real pressure many young people in China feel today.
Okay.
The pressure of hustle culture.
Hustle culture.
This idea that you need to constantly push yourself to achieve success.
Right.
No matter the cost.
That's so insightful.
Yeah.
It's like the film is holding up a mirror to this intense drive for achievement.
Yeah.
That can sometimes feel overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Shen Gongbao embodies that struggle.
Yes.
Always pushing himself to his limits, desperately seeking validation.
Right.
From a system that seems rigged against him.
Exactly. And this ties into the broader theme of generational divides that the film explores.
Oh, interesting.
You've got the celestial elite,
Okay.
representing the older generation who seem almost complacent in their privilege,
Okay.
while the younger generation, often symbolized by demons and other marginalized beings, are the ones striving for recognition
Right.
and a place at the table.
Yeah.
It's a dynamic that resonates far beyond China, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It speaks to this universal feeling of frustration that many young people around the world experience when they feel like the system isn't working for them.
Right.
It's the sense of being stuck in a system that doesn't value their contributions or recognize their potential.
And that's where the film's message of rebellion becomes so potent.
Okay.
It's not just about individual defiance.
Right.
It's about challenging the very structures that perpetuate these inequalities.
Wow.
Nezha's fight against the celestial bureaucracy becomes a symbol for this broader struggle against systems that feel oppressive and unjust.
It's interesting how some have interpreted the film's success as a sort of cultural victory for China, especially considering the geopolitical landscape right now. But I remember reading that Jiaozi, the director, has pushed back against any attempts to politicize his work.
He's adamant that Nezha 2 is not meant to be a propaganda piece.
Wow.
He sees it as a human story, one that explores universal themes of struggle, identity, and finding your own path in a world that tries to define you.
It's powerful.
And that message has clearly resonated with audiences globally.
It's proof that great storytelling can transcend cultural boundaries.
Absolutely.
Speaking of crossing boundaries, let's shift gears and talk about the visual spectacle of Nezha 2.
Yeah.
Donghua reviewer goes into raptures about the animation.
Oh, yeah.
And it's easy to see why.
Right.
It's a visual feast from start to finish.
The animation is truly groundbreaking. I'm still thinking about those incredible transformation sequences with Nezha.
Yeah.
The way his body shifts and flows like molten lava, it's mesmerizing. I've never seen anything quite like it.
It's like watching liquid metal being sculpted in real time.
Yeah.
The animators really pushed the boundaries of what's possible.
They did, and Donghua reviewer mentioned that they actually developed custom software to create those incredibly fluid and dynamic effects.
It's a testament to their dedication and artistry.
The attention to detail is remarkable.
I know.
Every frame is packed with meaning.
Right.
With subtle nods to Taoist symbolism and the philosophy of the 5 elements, it's not just visually stunning, it's layered with cultural depth.
You're right. Even the color palettes for the characters are tied to the 5 elements.
Oh, wow.
Fire, water, wood, metal, and earth.
Interesting.
It's a subtle but effective way to reflect their personalities and their destinies within the narrative.
Right.
And how about those epic crowd scenes? Especially the climactic demon tide sequence. I mean, how did they create something so massive and complex?
That's where technology and artistry truly converge.
Yeah.
According to Donghua reviewer, they used AI-driven technology to generate those scenes.
Okay.
With thousands of unique digitally rendered characters moving and interacting in a believable way.
Wow.
It's like a virtual symphony of movement and energy.
It's breathtaking. And we can't forget the music.
Oh, the music.
The score is so epic and emotionally powerful.
It is.
Perfectly capturing the intensity of the story. It blends traditional Chinese instruments with modern orchestral arrangements, creating a soundscape that's both familiar and fresh.
Right.
It's the kind of soundtrack that stays with you long after the film ends.
It's clear that every element of this film, from the animation to the music, was carefully considered to create a truly immersive and unforgettable experience.
It really was.
But Nezha 2 goes beyond just being a visual and auditory feast. It also delves into some profound philosophical themes.
That's what makes it so much more than just a popcorn flick. It makes you think. It challenges your assumptions, and it sparks conversations.
Right.
One of the most prominent themes I noticed was the idea of challenging fate.
Oh, yeah.
Nezha, as we know from the first film, is destined to become a demon, a destroyer.
Yeah.
But he spends the entire film fighting against that predetermined path.
It's this constant battle between nature and nurture, destiny and free will.
Yeah.
Nezha embodies this universal human struggle
I see.
against the limitations that are imposed upon us, whether by society, by circumstance, or even by our own internal demons.
It's incredibly relatable. We all face moments where we feel trapped by expectations or by the roles that others have assigned to us.
Right.
Nezha's rebellion against his preordained fate becomes a symbol for our own desire to break free, to forge our own paths, and to define ourselves on our own terms.
And it's not just about individual rebellion.
The film also explores this idea of challenging systems that are inherently unjust.
Right.
Nezha's fight against the celestial bureaucracy becomes a metaphor.
I like that.
For the broader struggle against any system that seeks to control and oppress.
Yes.
Whether it's a government, a social hierarchy, or even an entrenched way of thinking.
It's a powerful message, especially for younger generations, who often feel disenfranchised or disillusioned by systems that don't seem to serve their needs.
Right.
The film empowers them to question authority, to demand change, and to believe in their own agency.
Absolutely. And then there's the theme of redemption.
Oh, redemption.
The idea that even those who have been labeled as villains, those who have made mistakes, can find a way to atone for their past.
Okay.
And choose a different path.
We see this most clearly with Shen Gongbao.
Yeah.
He's so desperate to prove himself worthy, to escape the stigma associated with being a demon. It makes you question whether anyone is truly beyond redemption.
And whether we have a right to judge others based on their past actions.
It's a complex and nuanced exploration of morality.
It is.
Nezha, too, doesn't offer easy answers. It invites us to engage with these questions on a deeper level.
It really does.
And ultimately, it challenges us to reconsider our own definitions of good and evil.
Okay.
Are these fixed categories, or are they more fluid?
Right.
More dependent on context and perspective?
That's a great point.
The film suggests that the lines between hero and villain, savior and destroyer, are often blurred.
It's a film that encourages critical thinking.
It does.
That pushes us to question our assumptions and to see the world through different lenses.
That's the hallmark of great storytelling.
It's not just about entertainment.
Right.
It's about expanding our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
Exactly. And that's what makes Nezha 2 such a significant cultural phenomenon. It's a film that stays with you long after the credits roll, prompting you to reflect on your own beliefs, your own values, and your own place in the world. It's true.
But its impact goes beyond individual viewers.
Okay.
Nezha 2 has ignited a firestorm of excitement and innovation in the Chinese animation industry.
Yeah.
Which we'll delve into after a quick pause.
You're right. The success of Nezha 2 has had a ripple effect, changing the landscape of animation in China and beyond. Let's talk about that next.
Okay.
We've been talking about how Nezha 2, the Demon Tide, has really shaken things up, not just as a film, but as a cultural force.
It really has.
And it's got me thinking, what does this all mean for the future of Chinese animation?
It's a great question. Nezha 2 has become this symbol of what's possible for Chinese animation.
Right.
What's often called guomen.
Guomen. Okay.
It's proven that it can compete on a global stage, both in terms of creative storytelling and commercial success.
It's like it's opened the floodgates.
Yeah.
I've read that major companies like Alibaba, Tencent, and Bilibili are now investing billions of dollars into developing original animated content.
Absolutely. There's a sense of momentum.
Wow.
A renewed energy.
Yeah. It's not just about the money, though.
No.
Young animators in China are looking at Jiaozi's success and realizing that they, too, can tell ambitious, visually stunning stories that resonate with audiences worldwide.
It feels like we're witnessing the birth of a new era.
Yeah.
One where Chinese animation is stepping onto the world stage with confidence and originality. It's drawing on its rich cultural heritage, but also embracing innovation and pushing creative boundaries.
But of course, with this rapid growth comes challenges.
For sure.
Donghua reviewer brings up a valid point about market saturation.
Okay.
After the success of Nezha 2, there was a rush to greenlight all these mythologically themed projects.
Right.
We have to be careful not to get stuck in a creative rut.
You're right. Too much of the same thing can lead to audience fatigue.
Exactly.
It's like that old saying, variety is the spice of life.
Exactly.
You need fresh perspectives, new stories, different genres to keep things exciting.
For sure. And then there's the whole issue of censorship.
Right.
Which is always a sensitive topic in China.
It's a delicate balancing act for filmmakers.
It is.
Jiaozi managed to push boundaries with his critiques of authority in Nezha 2.
He did.
But it's unclear how much creative freedom other filmmakers will have.
Right.
Finding that sweet spot where you can express yourself artistically while navigating those sensitive areas is going to be crucial for the long-term health of the industry.
It's a tightrope walk, for sure. And then you've got the whole ethical dimension of how art gets commercialized.
Right. We talked earlier about the controversy surrounding Tencent's Nezha NFT collection.
Yeah, it raises important questions about how we balance artistic integrity with the desire to capitalize on success.
Right.
It's a conversation we need to be having.
Yeah.
Finding a sustainable model that respects the art while also exploring new revenue streams is going to be vital.
It's a complex landscape, but I'm optimistic.
Me too.
The Chinese animation industry seems ready to embrace these challenges and find creative solutions.
Yeah, I think so too.
So where do we go from here?
Right.
What's next for Nezha
Yeah.
and for Chinese animation as a whole?
Well, Jiaozi's Studio Chengdu Coco cartoon has some pretty ambitious plans.
Okay.
They're working on a 10-film saga
Wow.
that will explore the entire Fengshen universe.
Can you imagine?
I know we'll get to delve deeper into the stories of characters like Jiang Xia,
Oh, wow.
the Dragon Clan, and the epic events of the War of the Gods.
Wow, that's a massive undertaking.
It is.
But honestly, if anyone can pull it off, it's Jiaozi.
Yeah.
He's already proven himself to be a master storyteller.
Right.
Someone who can weave mythology, action, and emotional depth into something truly special.
And there are all these rumors swirling about potential global collaborations.
Oh, really? Like what?
Imagine a Nezha and Monkey King crossover with the team behind Sony's Spider-Verse.
Now, that would be epic.
I know the possibilities are mind-blowing.
And on the technical side, they're even experimenting with AI script writing and virtual production for Nezha 3.
Wow.
They're really pushing the envelope, which is incredibly exciting.
It seems like they're not content to rest on their laurels. They want to keep innovating, keep experimenting, keep raising the bar for what animation can achieve.
And that's ultimately what makes this such a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
Nezha 2, The Demon Tide, isn't just a standalone film.
Right.
It's a catalyst for a whole new wave of creativity and possibility.
It's a sign that Chinese animation is coming into its own, ready to take its place on the world stage.
For you, the listener, why should you care about all of this?
Because it's a reminder that great stories can come from anywhere. It's an invitation to open your mind to new perspectives, to immerse yourself in different cultures, to expand your horizons.
And who knows, maybe it will inspire you to tell your own stories, to explore your own creative potential.
Yeah.
Because as Nezha 2 so powerfully demonstrates, anything is possible when you dare to challenge limitations and embrace your own unique voice.
That's a beautiful way to put it, Nezha 2. The Demon Tide is a testament to the power of imagination, the importance of cultural heritage, and the boundless possibilities of human storytelling.
Well said. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Nezha 2.
It was my pleasure.
We hope you've enjoyed exploring this groundbreaking film with us.
If you haven't seen it yet, we encourage you to seek it out.
Yeah.
It's an experience you won't soon forget until next time.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those imaginations firing.
Well said.